to a brand new story called Path of the Valkyrie. I'm super excited to see how this goes. I was very excited to play it, so I decided to just not wait, and I'll play it second after playing Heaven's Secret. Okay. Because that was an emotional roller coaster for me. Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and continue playing for the night because I just finished Heaven's Secret. I took a break to eat some foodies, and now I'm ready to go. Okay, let's see what we got. So they have episodes 1 through 3. Let's see if we can fit them all in one episode. I don't know. I'm not super knowledgeable about Norse mythology. I know some basics, and some key figures of Norse mythology. But this is definitely gonna be like Legend of Willow. I might have to whip out the pronunciation bats on Google or something to look up how to pronounce some of these things. I've figured out how to pronounce some of these things. I might have forgotten it again. But anyway, here we go. Episode 1. Angry winds howl through Asgard's fjord riddled lands. Fjord, right? Okay, Odin, leader of the Aesir and guardian of the worlds, is ill at ease. Quick rule of thumb, Odin, to me, I feel about Odin the same way I usually feel about Zeus. I usually hate them on sight. So we'll see how my relationship with Odin is going to be like. That'll be interesting. Sly Loki has escaped his gaze and lurks in the shadows, but something else has caught his eye. I'm going to assume that that's Loki, which is interesting. Oh, you can't see my little cursor mouse. I'm not sure why. But anyway, I'm pointing to the guy in the picture with the red hair. He's interesting. Let's just get started. Ooh, I very much so like this new. She looks like a boss, dude. She looks totally like a boss. We see have some interesting runes here on her sword. I wonder what that's about. Ooh. Listen to the tunes a little bit. I love the little interface here thing. That's really cool. Oh, you can see my cursor again. Okay. Love the little interface. Maybe you just can't see it on the primary page. But yeah. I'm liking the decorations and everything, the little details. This is very, very nice. Okay. Here begins the saga of the maiden who was called... Well, you know what we name is. Melody. Even if it doesn't fit here. That is okay. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. What should we go with here? Right off the bat, I feel like Fair and Olive are hitting me. Something about Olive's eyes that are just like kind of like big and magnetic. I wonder what color hairs are. Are they gonna steer us with a bunch of blonde hairs? We'll learn soon enough. She's cool looking. There's something about this girl that she's got something going on there. I'm kind of vibing with it. Okay. We have dark bun, a fair bun, a dark undercut, fair undercut, a dark braid, a fair braid. Okay, so bun, undercut, or braid. The braid's kind of cool. Remember, these are not the only choices that we can choose from. There's going to be a few diamond ones that we can mess around with. Okay, let's pop this on for now. We're in some adventurer clothes. Interesting. I want to start a saga, change my hair. I love that it's called saga. That's fun. Let's check out with the hair. I'm not putting that on. We have some dreads. Those are kind of cool. Oh, twisted braids. Hello. Well, hello, twisted braids. Those are fun. Let's get these so we can keep them in our little repertoire. We can always change back to hair if we feel like it doesn't fit. Let's plop that on. It's eye-catching. I kind of like it. All right, let's check out these outfits, yeah? Khakis. Camouflage. A tomb robber. Pants and work jacket. Spending all my gems right off the whip. All right, so that is gonna be our character starting off. Okay, so I can give this a shot. Okay, start the saga. Chapter 1, Another World. Okay, so I feel like we're being. This is not our world. Okay, because she looks kind of modernish. Like, I don't feel like she belongs here. Chapter 1, Another World. She woke up with the mother of all headaches. Okay, we're already here. A harsh, permeating smell filled her nostrils and settled comfortably in. Melody struggled to open an eye. She lay on a fur-covered bench in a low-ceilinged room that was dimly lit by splinters of burning wood. Something bubbled in a small cauldron over a fire pit. Whose digs are these? A massive mirror made of polished metal stood near a carved wooden column. A very familiar-looking young woman spun in front of the mirror. Nice body. She clicked her tongue appreciatively and arched her back. Very nice body. Hello? Melody blinked several times, but the weird apparition refused to go away. Both the room and the woman who looked exactly like Melody stayed exactly where they were. Melody swallowed and raised a hand to her eyes. The hand was decidedly male, covered in red hair with long, thin fingers. Is it Loki? Must be going crazy. What are you on about? Or I'm dying and hallucinating. The woman noticed her movement and tore herself away from the mirror. So you came too. This is definitely an improvement. Last time I got a dead mouse. Seeing someone else flash her own smell proved to be an eerie experience. Is this a dream? Melody pinched her still very male arm, trying to wake up. Nothing happened. Why so silent? You're so boring. The choice you're about to make will alter the flow of the telling. Some choices affect the story only slightly, while others lead to significant change. Who are you? Melody started to sound the stranger's voice she spoke with, slightly rough and low. The woman smiled triumphantly. That's much better, love. She put a hand to her waist and raised her chin proudly. Behold Loki, the great and terrible. So, Loki? Yep, the one and only. This is too specific to be a hallucination. Still, I might be gone bonkers. I wonder, who's the lunatic here? Me? Or this Loki? Why are you in my body, Loki? Change. Some choices show how fast can your character adapt to change in her life, or whether she prefers the familiar order of things. Change and familiarity. Are you saying we're gonna get more into the culture, or is this kind of like the Earth and space part of the outer space, Lost Night, Love from Outer Space? Kind of like that. I feel like going the change route. I don't mind throwing myself into it. Okay. Well, that's a simple one because you're in mine. That's interesting. Yep, that never happened before. Melody rose with an effort and shuffled over to the mirror. Why does my head hurt so much? That's because I drank yesterday. Or it may be that your weak human mind is uncomfortable in my godly body. It's one or the other. Tracking Loki's erratic movements made her even sicker, and then she saw herself in the mirror. It's not that Loki's body looked anything other but pretty. It's just that she never thought she'd see herself in a male body, especially a light-skinned and red-haired one. A shudder ran down the body that was definitely not her own. Oh. Loki, however, appears to be enjoying both himself and the situation. Where am I? You're my body, remember? Melody made a face. Yeah, like I could forget that. I mean, where exactly are our bodies? And yes, I can see we're in a room. Loki looked at her appraisingly. We're in Asgard. Asgard's outskirts, to be precise. Asgard, then. Melody exhaled, trying to chase off a gnawing sense of anxious disbelief. Want a drink? In a situation like this... why not? It's not gonna get any worse. That's the spirit. He waved a hand around. Have a seat somewhere. I'll grab us some mead. Mead? Do you have wine? Are you really gonna trade the god's own drink for sour grapes? I thought gods drink nectar. Who told you that? Loki appreciates your assent. Stay put, I'll be right back. What if I leave? Yeah, sure. He was almost out of the room when he turned back to her. Stay put. The massive door thudded shut behind him. Melody found herself alone in the room. The wooden walls of the room strongly reminded her of a jewelry box or the interior of a coffin. That's a big jump in between two different descriptions. The mirror kept mercilessly reflecting the body she was in. Try to remember anything or look around. How to look around? Despite being uncomfortably close to a reflective surface and a general sense of foreboding in the room, she didn't exactly want to leave it. Amidst all the confusion, this place definitely seemed safer than any alternatives. Since he warned me to stay put, it must have been important. Besides, annoying Loki doesn't sound like a great idea. Of course, if this really is the Loki, and I'm really in the Asgard. Melody looked around, a chest, a fire pit, a bench, the mirror. Is this really what the divine places of the Aesir looked like? The room looked exactly like all the reconstructions. Yeah, like all the reconstructions of Dark Age dwellings that Professor Stevens showed them. Interesting. The columns, though, were expertly crafted and carved with intricate patterns. Well, I should have paid more attention when we were discussing North European history. She shook her head. Who would have thought that my favorite Byzantine studies would not be enough? Can I find anything useful, I wonder? Examine the carvings, peer into the cauldron, search the chest, or wait. We are not waiting. What should we do? Search the chest or examine the carvings? There's something useful. From the carvings, we could probably discern some useful information. From the chest, we might be able to get a useful object. And the cauldron, I kind of want to stay away from that cauldron. I don't necessarily want to go rifling through somebody's stuff, but mean, we do kind of seem to be. I don't know. Let's do the carvings. They talked about them specifically, and there's the thing that pops to my eye the most in this room. She stepped closer. I wonder if I got it. A warrior caught her eye. He was in the process of stabbing a snake with his sword, and the snake's paws grabbed at a tree that served as the frame for a different scene. A hound sat muzzle turned to the sky, watching a hanged man. A squirrel ran along the tree trunk, almost alive, every hair carved into the wood. The leaves of the tree moved. Melody blinked and the illusion dissipated. Well, that was certainly something. I'm glad we took a peek at that, even though I'm not quite sure what it means. The column radiated grim coldness. Another thing I don't want to look at. Okay, so we can look at some of those things. Well, secondly, I want to search your chest. So, let's do that. The carved chest near the fur-covered bench looked very impressive. A heavy metal goblet stood atop it. Melody removed the goblet and carefully lifted the lid. A carefully folded net lay on top of the contents. Its thin link shimmered slightly. It's beautiful. Her hand reached the net almost on its own. Ooh, I don't know about touching stuff with your hand. I would have picked up something and stabbed it first. A small spark jumped from the net to her finger, stinging her painfully. Ouch. Alright. We get to look at everything. Something bubbled in a small cauldron suspended from a tripod over the fire pit. The cauldron appeared covered in soot, but upon closer inspection, it proved to be a sort of patina. Patina? Looks like copper. She peered inside. So this is where the smell is coming from. The contents looked less than appetizing. A thick, almost black goo produced another slow bubble. It burst, and the room filled with the unmistakable smell of a swamp. Melody swallowed and moved away. I'd rather not. Alright. No, wait. Tum stretched like molasses. How long has it been? A minute? An hour? Loki still hadn't returned, and she began to grow nervous. Do you leave me here? It's nonsense. I'm in his body. He wouldn't leave his body, right? Melody did her best to chase that thought away. Where did I get the glory from? High glory would give you access to exclusive scenes and also influences how others treat you. I know how that works. What choices gave me that? Where did I get that from? I wish I knew what choices gave me that. Okay. Her head kept hurting and the still air in the room did nothing to help it. I guess we're doing okay. Opening a window doesn't count as leaving, does it? She went to the window, which was shuttered closed. A current of air blew through a crack between the boards. It was clear the shutters haven't been open in a while, but she managed to fling them wide with surprising ease. Fresh air flooded the room. It smelled nice, of herbs and just a tiny hint of sea salt. The night sky was overcast, and heavy shadows hid much of the landscape. An unfamiliar large man stepped out of the shadows. Loki, don't you dare water my violets that way. There was clear menace in his voice. Close the window! Answer is Loki. How am I supposed to answer is Loki? Make excuses. What? How did he go just back then? She probably stuck her chin up. Behold, for I am Loki, the wily rogue. How darest thou command me? The man sighed in resignation. Loki, did your mother drop you down on your head one time too many? Lost his mind completely with all this drinking and wenching? Grumbling on, the man disappeared back into the darkness. Sagar thinks thinks Loki is mocking him. Okay, let's not do that one then. And also let me look up how to pronounce that name because. Alright, here we go. Let's make excuses. Hopefully this is the answer. I'm just out for some fresh air. Had a bit too much meat again. He shook his head disapprovingly. You should settle down. How long do I have to put up with you? My cellars are growing empty and you're still not leaving. You dragged a girl in here too. So he dragged me here? Where'd he get me from? Grumbling on, the man turned and went to a nearby building. Sigurd thinks Loki is a coward. I don't know what's worse here. Should I have just closed it? I think he either thinks I'm mocking him or he thinks I'm a coward. For what? Not mocking him? What's up? What's wrong with this dude? That dude can go shove it. I don't like him already. I'm not doing that again. Looks like there's no love lost for Loki. She wished very hard to be back in her own body. The shadows grew darker and the night air carried the whisper of thin things like feathers rubbing against each other. Just the wind playing with leaves. The heavy door opened and Loki went in carrying a large pitcher. He glanced at the window. Well, since you want to show off my body so badly, let's go to the yard. Don't want to go, want my body back, decided to air the room. I kind of want my body back. Can you give that back? Do you know how? Did you do this? He said it's never happened before. So, it doesn't sound like he... decided to air the room. I don't know. So he didn't even try to escape? Melody laughed bitterly. Do I have anywhere to run? Not really, no. Then why ask the question? You may consider this a test. Let's go. Her eyes gradually adjusted to the gloom, and Melody found the line where the earth met the sky. A light breeze rustled through leaves, and it felt comfortably cool outside. A wide bench stood near a log-built wall. Loki lounged on it and made a welcoming gesture. Have a seat, and we shall talk. It will take some time. He lowered his hand. He produced a goblet, and Melody could argue that there had been no goblet in sight a second ago. He filled it to the brim with mead and offered it to Melody. She took the goblet and looked at it with suspicion. Loki smirked and took a swig right out of the pitcher. She took a careful sip. Sweet, flowery bitterness enveloped her tongue. To get your body back, I must know where you came from. What do you remember? I took a job. I had to get a certain artifact. Melody barely squeezed through the gap between a cave-in and a wall. Oh, so she really was like a tomb explorer. She breathed in another lungful of stale air that tasted of dust and mold. The narrow passage opened into a small chamber. Another corridor led on there from there. I'm getting close. Shallow, repeating lines on the walls caught her practiced eye. They were clearly man-made. Interesting decoration. Are those runes? Why would there be runes here? Whatever. I can't read them anyway. She heard gravel scatter behind her. Melody turned, snake quick, in time to see the freckled nose of her curious guide. Etienne? What are you doing here? I'm getting stuck. He lowered his head in apparent shame. I told you to wait for me outside. Yep. Will you help me out? I'm really stuck. Insufferable boy. You know what? Stay put or give me your hand. Give me your hand. This choice will impact the story. You're lucky. I'm in a good mood today. She grabbed the boy's clammy hand tightly and yanked hard. Ouch. Grin and bear it. Nobody put you there. There's a twist there. Turn sideways toward me and pull your belly in. Right. She yanked again and Etienne flew out like a cork from a bottle. Thanks. Why do you have to follow me? Since you're here, step where I step and don't touch anything. The boy nodded so vigorously that it threatened to tear his head off. Sure, Melody. She sighed and went down the corridor. That's fine. Take what I came for and get the cash. Everything's gonna be okay. A money grubber. Interesting. The corridor went on, straight as an arrow, and Melody almost forgot about Etienne. This dust accumulated over centuries, undisturbed. The MacGuffin will be here. She tried to temper her expectations, but the excitement tickled her from the inside, the way good wine does. There's something glowing there. She cast him a dissatisfied glance. There, look, farther down. Ooh, look at the walls. Melody squinted and saw a blue glimmer. The corridor ended in a wall. A small niche had a dusty stone casket, blue light, painfully bright in the gloom, stabbed from small gaps in the lid. Melody very carefully opened the exquisitely carved lid. His eyes twinkled with interest and some hidden meaning. So you procured treasure for clients. That's not important now. Do you know how I can get back what happened, what was inside? I'm curious about what was inside. I doubt he'd tell me. Can you tell me what happened? You opened the casket. There was an artifact there which activated and transported you here. I wish I could take a look at it. Don't you wish to get me back in my body? Well, Sakura can certainly try. We have to rely on him? Where can we find him? Who's that? What does he look like? Where can we find him? Oh, we find him. Here he comes. Loki took another swig. Then he smiled mischievously. Hey, do you want to prank him? Mo looked at him confused. Why? Come on, it'll be fun. He waved a hand around, apparently carefree. All you have to do is pretend you're me. I don't know. That didn't work out so well before. Make up your mind. He's close. I don't like him that much. I don't care. Great. Then don't say anything I wouldn't say. What's that? Well? A stranger from before stepped out of the gloom. Loki, I asked you. He scowled fiercely at Loki's blank face, which happened to be Melo's at the moment. What will Loki say? I did as you asked. It's not my fault. What are you talking about? I don't know what he would say. So far, all he's been doing is stating the obvious. I don't know. I did as you asked. I don't know. Did you know? The last picture of me is somehow here and not in my cellar. I'm watching it very closely. Nothing can hide from my gaze. Melly took a swig from the pitcher. Sakura sighed in resignation. I knew that letting you in was akin to letting a fox into a hen house. Since when do you keep hens? Loki, you're drunk. Go sleep it off. And now, I'll agree or do what Loki does. Sarah kept gazing at them. Well? Loki carefully winked at her and pointed to the picture with his eyes. I believe in you. Oh well. She took the picture from Loki. I ain't drunk yet. Melody exhaled and took several deep swigs. Now I'm definitely drunk. Cigar made a face and laughed. Oof. That was amazing. Such talent. Have you ever thought of becoming an actress? He laughed with delight. I haven't had this much fun in ages. The adrenaline rush faded and Melody realized she forgot to do something very important. I didn't ask him for help. He's impossible to talk to after dusk. Loki waved a hand, gulped down the rest of the pitcher, and smiled contentedly. When he realized that we've pranked him, that's when the real fun will begin. How will he know? One way or maybe another. Does it matter? He rose from the bench and offered her his hand. You amused Loki. Let's go inside. We'll talk to Sagir in the morning. Oh, I got glory for that. This time, Loki brought her to another place. A long chamber stretched to end in a large hearth, with benches and tables forming 2 lines along its wall. There was an opening in the ceiling. The place smelled of smoke and something bitter and yeasty, like beer. Loki? This place smells. Why are we here? Here's where you'll sleep. This is some kind of joke. I can't let you into my room now, can I? What if you snore? You little... A disturbing screech came from above. Hostility filled the air, thick enough to cut with a knife. Melody looked up. 2 ravens, each as large as a turkey, sat on a crossbeam. One of them was pitch black, the other snow white. What's that? Birdies, pretty birdies. Loki's face looked carefree, but his eyes were certainly deadly serious. Those are some birdies, all right. Be right back. He turned quick as an eel and almost ran to the exit. Where are you going? You see, those are some very bad birdies. Loki peered from behind the door. Keep them busy. Bitch, I'm not a fucking toy. Yeah, I'm about done. I'm about done. And he shut the door behind him. A white and black vortex exploded into the room. The 2 ravens lunged at her, razor-sharp talons extended. Melody ducked, trying to evade the birds. His long feathers brushed her face. She rolled on the floor and found herself near the hearth. Take that. Melody grabbed a charred piece of wood and whacked the raven aside. The wood cracked and broke. Get lost. Her hands trembled, her heart beat like a drum. The ravens traded a glance and flew up. They circled over her, forming an almost perfect circle. Ghost light trailed at the ends of their feathers. Oh crap. The door opened and Loki stood on the threshold, a net in his hands. Stand aside. His voice sounded very compelling. Melody dodged to the side, the net spun past her ear and the birds fell and tangled to the floor. Feathers filled the air as if someone stuck a knife into a pillow. Cigar rushed into from the outside, even more upset than before. What's going on here? Cigar, come on in. We're counting ravens. Cigar frowned and turned to Melody. Loki, you little... Nope, wrong. I'm over there. Well, right. How would Cigar know about the prank if not for Loki? We have a bit of a situation here. And you're just the person who can help us. Cigar harumphed, unconvinced, and looked from the girl to Loki. You're up to your usual tricks, Loki. I'm not Loki, I'm Melody. Then why do you look like Loki? She could only shrug in response. The ravens kept on calling. The net prevented them from flying away, but they kept trying to free themselves. The actions looked almost sentient. Are those Hugin and Munin? Yep, looks like Odin found me after all. He spread his hands apologetically. Listen, Cigar, this is what happened. Loki started explaining. Cigar listened, scowling. Sagir? I don't know how to pronounce it. She barely noticed her consciousness start to drift. Very well, I'll help. This is the last time, Loki. My debt will be paid in full. Sure it will. Sagir turned to Melody. Listen carefully, mortal. I do have a name. I have little use for a mortal's name. Listen. What'd I tell you? This guy can go shove it somewhere in the ditch. And I do not care. I will help you. Once. Good, then maybe we only have to talk once, and then I can get away from you and never talk to you again, because you're an idiot. Then you leave, both of you. That will be your payment for my help. I'm fine with that. I will leave in the morning as soon as I'm back in my own body, dude. Because I definitely want to be here with you. You, Loki, as well. Yep, sure. Me too. They found me here anyway. I need to prepare. I'll tend to our pretty little birdies then. He grinned sharply, fox-like. I wonder how that would happen. Maybe I'll be able to find some proof that this is real. Helps him? Fuck him. I don't want to get close to that bitch. No. No. I am not impressed. Don't really want to help Loki either, but... There's 2 ravens and 1 of you. Let me help. Scar harumphed and left the hall. Bye. Oh, I've never been insulted like that. So what are you going to do with them? First, I could pluck all their feathers, and then... He smiled in anticipation. The ravens quieted, visibly shaken. You owe me blood, Hugin and Munin. No, of course I won't kill you. That would simply be too easy. Yeah, everybody says that. Is he talking to them? Melody, could you give me that cauldron from my room? Are you gonna cook crow soup? What? Nah, I'll just lock them up. Melody didn't argue, finding the room and bringing back the pot only took a few minutes. When she returned to the hall, the ravens were still under the net and Loki was still looking at them. He impatiently snatched a cauldron from Melody. Alright then. A bright flash made her cover her eyes. Done, done, and done. What? Where are they? What do you mean? I mean where? They're right here. He proudly brandished the cauldron, now covered in a black and white pattern. Did she make an ornament out of them? Loki smiled, pleased with himself. It's nuts. A morose figure returned to the hall, carrying several pale purple flowers. Loki was glad to show off his powers. I'm ready. He handed each of them a flower and made them lay on benches. A strong wind tore into the hall through the opening in the roof, ruffling their hair and blowing sand into their eyes. She could barely hear Sigur's voice. Melody came to in her own body, a heaven's signet ring weighed down a finger. Yeah. You can change your outfit and hairstyle anytime by pressing wardrobe in the upper left corner. Why would you yell like that? The wind kept playing with the raven feathers that withered the floor. She didn't even notice one of them find its way into her hand. A sudden cold ran down her fingers, up her arm, and down into her heart. Ouch. Okay. We got a good chunk of change and glory. I like this. Because the road will rise to meet the one who walks it. All right. Sure. Okay. So I have this photo. Chapter 2, the journey begins. The feather dissipated into smoke and a pattern took shape on her forearm. Great. You put that down, but this is still blocking the way. That's so stupid. Why don't you make that go down too? Something I can't pronounce. Uh-huh. Let's get a gem one. This one's kind of fun. It's all glowy. She looked at her arm, confused. Okay. Surtur, take me. What does it mean? It means you're special. He emphasized the last word. Special? She stared hard at Loki and crossed her arms. Yep. First you got here. Second, you got into my body. Third, you now have an amazing tattoo. Sigurd scowled. You've been marked. You won't get rid of the ink. Who marked me? I don't like it. First you gain immunion, now this. Nothing good can come of it. And trust me, plenty of good can come. And go. Who marked me? Sigurd winced. Odin. He already started. What I tell you? He already started shit. He said the name so quietly that Melly barely heard it. Silence hung in the hall. What now? Melody hadn't felt this lost and exhausted in a while. Sleep, human. Take any bench. It's very polite. Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. He nodded absent-mindedly, already deep in thought, and left with Sigurd. Melody was alone in the hall. Sleep took her as soon as she lay on the narrow bench. At first, there was nothing. But then, the sounds came first. A barely audible, indecipherable murmuring enveloped her. An old carved wooden throne stood in a circle of light among a sea of gloom. The carvings on its backrest were marred by deep scratches left by something like enormous bird talons. An old hunched man sat limply on the throne. His face was hidden in the deep shade of his hood. A long spear lay across his lap, its thin head sharper than a viper's fang. It radiated a deadly threat. Hey, who are you? The old man did not answer, nor did he move. The spear had cut through a moonbeam. The murmuring grew louder, became malicious, insistent. She suddenly couldn't move. Let me go. The gloom grew denser around her. Melody felt an irresistible force drag her towards the old man. She looked at him. The old man sat as before, except now he held a spear in an outstretched hand, pointing it at her. She was dragged closer, faster and faster. The spear touched her chest. You saw a hidden thing. No. Would I not have seen this? This is one of those exclusive scenes that they're talking about? No. What? Why is there a bathtub here? The awakening wasn't pleasant. Her body felt sluggish in the cold. The dream left a foul aftertaste. I hate nightmares. A wooden bathtub filled with still hot water stood in the middle of the hall. On a bench near, she could see a piece of soap, a folded piece of cloth, and a bundle of clothes. Loki lounged on the table. Morning, love. How did you sleep? Fine. Was that so? You spoke in your sleep, but I couldn't make out a word of it. Were you watching me sleep? He waggled his eyebrows mysteriously. I tried waking you up, but couldn't. So that doesn't count. Loki looked straight into her face. So, how did you sleep? What difference does it make? Well, since it doesn't. He jumped down from the table and cast her another suspicious glance. But in case there is a difference, and there's a reason why you stink of witchcraft. What? You positively reek of it. It's a load of crap. Loki suspects something, but it makes no difference. How did I end up with that? Because I was fine? Why do I have to tell him all my secrets? Like... Ugh. Alright, what if I just say horribly? But I feel rested? Weird. Melody stretched contentedly. Loki looked her over intensely, almost inappropriately so. What did you dream of? Some old man. Sat on the throne, all silent, and shook her head. I wouldn't want to meet him in person. Was he doing anything? I don't know, it's like he was reeling me in like a fish. Well then. You told Loki about the dream. Bad old Odin is back at it seems. This complicates stuff. That was Odin? But how? I don't know. He shook his head and jumped down from the table. By the way, the key you mentioned yesterday. What about it? Just, you know, wondering if maybe somehow you happen to have it on your person. I don't. Why are you asking? Fleeting disappointment flickered over Loki's face. Well, if you don't, you don't. This is why I don't tell him shit. Because he don't tell me shit. It's like, this is why I don't trust you with shit. I shouldn't have told him about the dream. I should have just went back with the other one. Wash up, gather your things, and meet me outside. We need a plan. Loki vanished behind the door. She did not decline his generous offer. The soap smelled of herbs, and the folded cloth turned out to be a towel. The tattoo, along with the ring, didn't go anywhere. She did manage to scrub the ink off of her arm, and the ring didn't budge even after being lubricated with soap. Great. Now my finger hurts. Having gotten out of the cooling water, Melody examined the clothing. What should I wear? Tunic and trousers. An apron dress. A tunic dress. Let's go kind of fancy. Maybe I'll pass as a local in this. She smiled crookedly at her reflection in the water. Crown of braids. Whoa, bubble braids. Or loose hair. Kind of like the braid. So this is what I'm talking about. They're already trying to change my hair colors. And only episode 2. And my hair color's already trying to change. I'm so sick of that with this. It don't make no fucking sense. And I don't like this hairstyle anyway. I'm kind of liking the loose hairstyle, I'm gonna be honest. The braid is fun too, though. Let's go with this one for now. The dream kept coming back to her mind. Melody crouched to tie her bootlaces. When she rose again, the bathtub was nowhere to be seen. A bag now lay near her things. That was extremely subtle. She collected her Earthmate clothes. I wonder if it's ever going to be useful here. Her future looked very uncertain in light of recent events. Melody went through her pockets. A hairpin, a folding knife, a completely useless smartphone. She sighed and set aside the knife within easy reach. She packed the rest of the bottom of the bag. Someone knocked insistently on the door, startling her. Sawyer came into the hall, looked her over, nosed the knife, and lifted his eyebrows. Is that your weapon? Why, do you want me to cut you with it? It has a different purpose. It's more of a tool. Mainly used to open ration packs. You need a sword. Man-made iron has no power here. Alright. He went to a chest, flung open its lid, and took out a sword in a well-worn scabbard. Then he looked pensively at her hands, dug deeper into the chest, and added a pair of old, thin leather gloves to the sword. Here, human. The sword was surprisingly light. I don't know how to use it. Hold it at the blunt end and hit with the sharp end whatever's trying to hit you. Loki barged into the hall. He looked at them, sullen for a moment, and proclaimed, Odin is up to something. I simply must know what that is. We need Mimir. Why? To find out what's going on, duh. So you have no idea after all. Loki lifted his nose proudly. I still know more than you do. So you decided to drag Mimir into this as well. What else can we do? Nobody in this room knows what's going on. Scarlet pressed his lips in disgust. Odin definitely knows what's up, but going for a visit will result in me becoming much more dead. He suddenly swayed and rubbed at his temple. You damn creatures. What are you on about? Hugin and Munin, of course. Frigg must have found Odin and is panicking. Ach, that stings. You didn't kill them? Of course not, I imprisoned them. Imprison? That's what you call took care of them? As soon as you leave, they'll break free. Don't underestimate me, they'll still put for another day or two. I want to hear the plan. The plan is simple. We're going to see Mimir, and I see you're already packed up, which is good. We'll ask him a couple of questions, and then we'll decide what to do next. So you, Loki, are going to leave me to Odin's mercy. Anger and fear warred in Sigur's eyes. So you're afraid of Odin, or something else? And you call Loki a coward? Of course not, duh. We're friends, remember? I will cover you. So Odin couldn't find me, so he won't be able to find you. Sigur. Oh, he won't find you either, Melody. Why would he want me? You tell me. Sigur gave them a heavy stare. That's not what's important right now. We've got to leave together. How can I tell you? You already want. Enough. Would anyone explain to me what makes Odin so dangerous? He was a decrepit old man in my dream. Sigur cast her a fearful glance. Quiet, there are ears everywhere. Melody, I wouldn't dare to think that you'd underestimate a foe. Odin is chief among the Aesir. Do you think he just blundered into that role? Aren't you gods? You were so full of yourself about that yesterday. I am powerful, that's true. And I'm definitely stronger than you, a human. But Odin is 1,000-fold stronger than all of us put together. But while he's separated from Hugin and Munin, we might just have a chance. And when they reunite with him. Sigur gripped his head in despair. Well, curse me and let you into my house. Oh my god! Shut the fuck up. Your great good heart, buddy. That thunder scared the shit out of me. A peal of thunder came from outside. Sigur shuddered. How are you even going to get to Mimir? The Bifrost has been locked for hundreds of years. Through Yggdrasil. Duh. Am I pronouncing that right? Yggdrasil. I think I have that right. You're offering us to just take a stroll down the world tree? I'd rather die here, thank you. Sigur, I thought it through. Really? Or's gonna help us. These names. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for butchering the hell out of this. Last time, Oral shaved your head bare. Yep, that he did. He didn't kill me though. Sigur's inner struggle was clearly visible on his face. Loki walked closer and gave him a friendly slap on the shoulder. Come on, it's gonna be so much fun. Sigur gave him a heavy stare. Sagar? Maybe I'll call him Sagar. Uller? I don't know. Melody realized that Loki would be the only one having fun. I bet we have different definitions of what's fun. I will go, but I don't like it. Do you have to go? Oh my god. Is that some sort of fairy? Pleasant hills covered in small pale flowers rolled as far as the eye could see. That's a cool little structure there. It was like they started on a sculpture and they never finished it. The view was easy on their eyes, but far less so on their feet. Steps turned into yards, yards into miles, and the heels rode on. Loki led the way, watching the skies and managing to avoid tripping. Oh, there's more of them. Sagar walked a little bit to the side morosely, kicking the small rocks from time to time. Leaving his home clearly did not make him happy. This might be a good time to untangle this mess. Speak with him or speak with Loki. He's more expensive and I don't even like him. Can I just think on the situation? I don't particularly want to be closer to either of them. Neither one of them are my cup of tea. Loki just speaks in riddles. Sigur just an asshole about everything. Oh, there's more sculptures. Let's just try them out. At the very least, he will answer me seriously. Sagar, do you have a minute? What do you think? I must know what's going on. I think you do. Let's start with the ring. I tried taking this ring off and simply couldn't. What is it? She showed him his hand. She showed him her hand. Sagar cast her a quick glance. That's Loki's ring. Why do I need it? It's magic. Don't try to take it off. What happens if I do? He turned away, heavily implying he didn't want to continue this particular discussion. He appreciates inquisitiveness. Does the tattoo on my arm mean anything? That is the Valkyrie stave. It shows the way. Like a compass. You humans love to simplify things. Valkyrie helps navigate the roads of fate. You can't just trust the stave. This is confusing. Magical staves grow into the person wearing them and change them from the inside, or it happens the other way around. The wearer changes the stave. Taints it. I think I can do that. Make sure that pursuit doesn't blind you. I've met many humans, proud, strong, unbreakable. Some of them never knew when to give up. You look like a level-headed maiden. He shook his head disapprovingly. Tell me, why did you pretend to be Loki? I didn't know you, and... I guess that was a little bit mean, but you're an asshole. You kind of deserved it. You humans are always in a hurry. You're making things up as you go, never thinking things through. What about you? Accepted your apology. I forgive you. Trees appeared, a few at a time, blending into groves and small patches of forest. We're almost there. I kind of like the scene is like moving. I feel like we're traveling. So I got outside and picked up the pace. Okay, so you only get to ask about one thing. As they crossed another hill, she saw a forest of old yew trees, wide and deep-rooted. A moss-covered cabin hid in their shade. In front of it glittered a small pond. A dark-haired man held a bow at the ready, looking searchingly into the gloom between the yew trees. My man. Loki spread his arms and grinning as if trying to hug not only, this name. Lord. I gotta try to see if I can find this crap.
Ulr.
Okay. I looked it up, and I'll be honest. My mouth is not gonna make that noise. That's even more difficult than... That's about as difficult as I expected. I'm just gonna call him Ul. It's like Ul or some kind of something. I almost want to roll my tongue a little bit, roll my R, but that's difficult. That's difficult. Ul. We're gonna stick with Ul, okay? But also the whole forest. Once again, I apologize. Ul turned warily and gave Loki a suspicious stare. He's kind of cute. What winds bring you here, Loki? With company, no less. Ooh. The man's eyes warmed when he saw a sag. I didn't see his final pronunciation for his name. Sagger. Well, we're gonna keep with Sagger. I don't. Sagger. Oh, I see you're out of your den. Sagger nodded a greeting. Well met, Ul. She's a distant person. Introduce yourself, nod in greeting, or stay silent. Just because it seems a decent person to them doesn't mean it's gonna be a decent person to me. I don't know if I want to go out of my way to be like, oh, hey, buddy here. Should we try a nod? It's like halfway in between, right? Oh, Lord. I don't want him looking polite. She gave him a reserved nod. Ul smiled slightly and nodded back. That is Melody. She's a Valkyrie. Why did Loki call me a Valkyrie? Well met. Okay. I think that was okay. What brings you to my dell? You know, I was just bored sitting in one place. I decided to come for a visit. Loki, I've known you for thousands of years. You want something from me. He wants you to lead us to Mimir. Mimir, yeah. Ul lifted an eyebrow. Why do you want to see Mimir? Well, I may have a few questions for him. A scream echoed from the forest, full of beastly horror and pain. What was that? Some bastard thing decided to make its lair here. I don't seem to be able to catch it. Eats my deer, dodges my arrows, bypasses my traps. Ul pensively looked at Loki. It's not my fault. I know, but I keep remembering that time you led me in circles around the forest. We're friends, Loki, aren't we? The redhead suddenly looked wary. We are. He's telling you to go catch it. So you gladly helped me catch the bastard as a friend. As a friend, you say. Well, you promised to lead us to Mimir afterwards. Their gazes met, the air seemed to congeal between them. Uller broke eye contact first. Deal. Oh, goody. Sagir rolled his eyes. Then you, Loki, will go into the forest and flesh out the prey, while Sagir the Valkyrie and myself will wait for it here. Don't you trust me at all, love? No, I don't trust you. That's kind of rude to say. Not about that. So you want to be present for my epic struggle with an unknown foe. Melody shrugged. Don't worry, you won't miss anything important. I will show it to you the way it is, Melody. It will be as seeing it with your own eyes. He turned and waved nonchalantly. Don't get bored without me. Watch out for traps. Even though I kind of wanted to stay, you now see through Loki's eyes. I kind of wanted to stay and see if I could talk to Ul. But I think we might have time to talk to him later. I don't know. Ul, I can spot your traps from hell off while blindfolded. The forest looked well kept and ancient. The warm air smelled of fir and pine, and his feet pressed deeply into a thick yielding carpet of fallen needles. Loki didn't bother with skulking. His job was, after all, to flush out this unknown beast from the forest. Oh, wait, I didn't go with him. I can just see it. Like, oh, I thought he was just like anything that was kind of magical, he would show me what his true form was. On the other hand, I could probably just catch the thing. Ooh, that is so tempting. I'll flush it out, I'll catch it myself. Shouldn't we just do what we're told? So I'm playing as Loki. Okay. Just do what you're told. Although Ul might not appreciate my efforts. Probably shouldn't risk souring his mood. I will need his help later. Anyway, I've got to find it first, and this forest is quite large. Huh. Walk in a spiral around the forest. I'll look for tracks. I'll make noise. But we don't know what its tracks look like. He just said it was a beast, not exactly what it looks like. So what tracks are we tracking? Anything that doesn't look like normal tracks, I guess, but... Ul said it was eating his deer. He looked around. Maybe if we follow deer tracks, then we can find that thing's tracks. Neither the ground nor the bark of trees held any tracks. There was a lake not far from here. The ground there is wet. It should hold tracks well. And what deer can live without water? Loki sniffed the air. Water. That way. He went there at a brisk pace. The forest grew darker. It could be because of suspiciously large amounts of dense and thick spider webs. Or it could be because the day slowly turned to dusk. There was not a single soul around. Not even birds could be heard. Wait a minute. Is this damn thing hunting me? And I didn't smell it? Then it should be right behind me. Loki turned around sharply. A cute feline muzzle looked at him from behind a tree trunk, bending down into a serpentine body. Purr? Hey, a tatzelworm. It's been a while since I last saw one. What are you doing here? He squatted and stretched a hand towards the beast. The beast rolled on his tail and crawled snake-like to Loki. It did not look friendly. The hard way it is, then. He looked around and saw a mushroom, a stick, a rock. I don't know if we should be touching mushrooms all willy-nilly and things. A stick. What are we gonna do with the stick? And the rock. Man, it might piss it off more. A stick? A sturdy stick lay within reach. It's sturdy. Well then. The bark slid off the stick, leaving behind an elegant wooden javelin. Loki weighed it in his hand, narrowed his eyes, and cast it at the beast. The javelin whistled, made its way through the air, and went deep into the tassel worm's flank. His body shuddered. It stopped and turned to mist. What the? A leg came out from the mist, then another, then a third one, then a sixth one, an eighth. Loki blew out a breath, and he ran to the edge of the forest as fast as he knew how. Oh, I got glory. What is a bloody Aliciaga doing here? Aliciaga. Siaga? Aga. Doing here? Aliciaga? A loud stomping came from the forest. There he comes. A decidedly out of breath Loki ran out from under the trees. Kill it! Behind him, a repulsive chitin-covered thing crashed through the undergrowth. It brandished a leg, aiming for a killing blow. Uller drew his bow. Arrows whistled from one after the other, but none pierced the creature's armor. Segar frowned and dug into his pack to produce a vial. Loki sped past the very surprised Melody and kept on running as fast as he could. Where are you going? Good luck. I'm rooting for you. Loki, you goat's ass. Me? Who sent me to bait out an Aliciaga without warning? Siega. I don't know. The thing skidded closer rapidly in the jerking way of arachnids. Segar swore viciously and found several more vials. Ooh, here. My thanks. He uncorked the vial and dipped several arrows into it. What should I do? She suddenly realized that both Ulla and Segar stepped back behind her. Damn it! The thing was disgusting, but Melody never was afraid of spiders. She gripped her sword tighter. Oh crap. A leg slashed dangerously close to her face. Hack a leg off. I guess I should go for the blade flashed through the air and found a joint in the thing's leg. It crunched, buckled, but stayed in place. Foul fluid spurted from the wound. Watch out, it's poisonous. Couldn't you have told me that beforehand? The blade of her sword started to droop and fall apart. Back! An arrow thunked in the creature's abdomen and exploded. A blast of hot air and noxious stench made her recoil in time to avoid a swinging leg. Oh, I got glory. Okay, I did it good. The thing spun around, waving its legs haphazardly, trying to hit Melody. Melody, move aside. Melody jumped and rolled, dodging another strike. Several vials shattered on the creature's head, releasing their liquid contents. Whatever it was, it reacted quickly and chitin hissed and flaked away. Sounds I think is making. Arrows found their mark. Ul's arrows found their mark, piercing through the thing's head. It thrashed one last time, curled its legs, and turned to something resembling an old, wrinkled, and very much inhuman hag. When you know it, that really was a dreadbringer. You know that crap was infesting your forest? Melody plopped him to the ground, exhausted. What the actual fuck? All heads turned to her. Why is it that there's so much filth here? A bit less of it, thanks to our joint efforts. Loki, you hid behind our backs. You hid behind mine! That's called tactics, buddy. He sat near Melody. I didn't know you were this much of a warrior, Melody. I'd rather I wasn't. Nothing... What was it? A Dreadbringer. There used to be a lot of them. I thought Tyr killed the last of them. Oh. I don't understand how I could have found its way into my forest. Somebody could have brought it. Asagir and Or synchronously looked at Loki and then back at each other. Hey, what was that? Old habits. We should burn the corpse. The bonfire that consumed the thing still held warmth. Melody stood, propped against the door sill, and looked at the forest. The forest quietly moved its yew branches as if trying to tell her something. Loki's laughter and Sagir's irritated voice came from inside the cabin. Floorboards creaked behind her. Can't sleep? Melody shook her head. The forest is safe, I checked. The only thing left is to find out where it came from. That's good. Listen, why are you living here? Well, this kind of just seems like his element as to why he's helping. Didn't he want to help to get rid of the beast so he could live peacefully in his forest again? Why are you helping? Why wouldn't I? Melody couldn't find a counter argument. Fair enough. Besides, I now have a question for Mir as well. He sighed quietly and smiled. Shucks of the question. Get some rest. Tomorrow's gonna be a hard day. Okay. Alright. Doing good on points, I think. Alright, episode 3. The best swords are born from the hammer of Ymir's granddaughter. Chapter 3. A Valkyrie's Forge. They left before dawn. Melody shivered and yawned. Do we have to leave this early? Loki nodded, agreeing with her. It's Ul's fault. He's always up early. What about me? The early bird gets the worm, after all. Ul stretched, adjusted his bow, and waved a welcoming hand. Keep up. He confidently led them on. They soon entered the heart of the forest. The light of the newly born sun tangled in the thick canopy, losing its way and dispersing, failing to reach the ground. Roots and low-hanging branches alike made walking in a straight line difficult, forcing them to step carefully, move around, duck under, and occasionally clamber over. Weird place. Where are we going? To a thin place. He shouldered a branch aside and held it in place, allowing her to move past. I can feel it. It's close. What's a thin place? Imagine that every world is a sack. The unexpected simile struck Melody right in the heart. She stared at the archer, unsure what to expect of him. And when a sack is old, its fabric is wearing thin, right? I suppose so. Her face. That's where we're going. People have been to the moon, and here I am listening about sack worlds. In the middle of a meadow, in the center of a curiously bald, circular patch of earth, stood a large stone. It looked completely ordinary, but somehow she couldn't focus her eyes on it. That's weird. Please stop. The stone doesn't like attention. Archer smiled triumphantly. We're lucky. It's usually farther away. What now? It's easy enough. We're going into the circle. I'll go first. Step where I step, and I do not leave the circle, and whatever you do, don't look back. What happens if I leave the circle? I don't think you'll have enough power. This is a warning for Loki. Oh, come on. I've done this 1,000 times, and everything was always fine. Well, almost. Let's go. He easily stepped into the circle. Melody followed him. I don't want to be last. Ul started walking in a spiral around the stone, inching ever closer to the center. Moving after him was easy, especially unconscious with the recent trip through the woods. Step, and again, and step once more. The rhythm hypnotized her, blurred her thoughts. Melody wasn't sure how much time passed since she walked into the circle. It could be a minute or a century. Ull's back kept her moving in front of her. The air thickened and congealed into a sluggish jelly that made going difficult. A sparkling misty veil rose from the ground. Melody, behind you! What's that? Keep walking. She almost turned. Wait, stop. Melody remembered the warning and the realization of what could have happened sent shivers down her spine. She heard no sound from behind, not even Loki and Sagar's steps. The first thing was like, look back, but I was like, nah, they told me not to look back. I don't know if I should keep walking, but that kind of seems good to keep moving at least, instead of just screaming out or something. I don't know. The ground started to glow. The light kept getting brighter with each step until it became absolutely unbearable. Melody squeezed her eyes shut. She dared to open her eyes. They stood in the middle of a road, long and wide as a highway. Its sides were lost in mist. A strong gust of wind blew by and something enormous flew past them with thunderous flapping. The mist parted for a second, revealing a house-sized, blindingly bright green leaf. Whoa. We're on a branch of the Yggdrasil. Is everyone alright? Yeah, it's just... She turned to Loki. Did you really have to call me? He looked at her, stunned. I thought so. That wasn't him. Are you out of your mind, love? I heard your voice. I didn't speak a word. It happens in thin places. It's a good thing you didn't turn. He looked at her, serious. Melody blew out some air in frustration, trying to calm down. Say, Ull, where are we? Where to next? Why are we here? Well, he said we're on Yggdrasil. Where to next? As before, it's Mimir. Looked around. These short answers, dude. We still have a long way to go. Melody tried to accommodate the idea of traveling via a branch. The idea refused to accommodate itself. Loki nearly danced with impatience. Stop fooling around. Let's move before anyone else notices us. Who will? Giant ants? If we're lucky, no one. He adjusted his bow. That way. The cracks in the bark grew deeper and soon looked like full-sized trenches. Melody tried to think about the height. Something told her it would be a very long way down. Another leaf came out of the mist, this one blessedly merely the size of a truck. Stop, now. Ull? Ull lifted his bow. We've been spotted. Loki, you brought this on us. You. The bark in front of him nodded and swayed. Something was ripping through it, carving its way out to the surface of the branch. The wood split once, twice, a third time. Splinters and pieces of bark spouted upwards. Several creatures stood on the branch. 6 wolves with hides of splinters, armored in Yggdrasil bark, crouched in front of them, ready to attack. These are just bundles of wood. What are they gonna do to us? Why are you always like... She's always like, oh, those things are nothing. What are they gonna do? Every time. She desperately tried to show how unbothered she was. First of all, they can knock us right off the branch. The wolves turned their heads to look at him. The largest bared his teeth as if smiling. Don't give them ideas. The pack leader stepped forward. Oh, here comes the battle music. Oh no. Path of change. Looks like we won't get out of here without a fight. This realization filled her with fierce, unexpected joy. Of course, she'd been in a scrape or two before, but she never had this much fun. I think I'm getting used to all this madness. She pulled out her sword, half molten by Alasiaga blood. The wolves took it as a call to action. Ull's arrow took him in the throat. The wolf shook its head, snapping the shaft. A second later, the arrowhead fell onto Yggdrasil's surface with a quiet clink. The wolf's grin grew louder. Loki, a little help here? His arrows flew one after the other, questing for a weak spot, but the wolves appeared to have none. Yeah. Sagar swatted a wolf aside, barked something like a swear word at it, and nothing happened. What the? One of the beasts sprang forward to block Melody's path. Sharp wooden teeth clacked way too close to her leg. Hit and hit. The blade was shorter than yesterday. It's better than fight it barehanded. Melody thrust the molten blade at the beast's head, aiming for one of its glowing eyes. The sword cracked onto the roof of the wolf's mouth and struck there. She pulled at it and the beast braced his feet, resisting her. Give it back. The wolf growled and jerked his head, and the sword flew out of her hand. The steel rang sadly as it spun out into the mist. Damn animal. Melody made a few steps back, keeping her eyes on the creature. Damn it, I'm completely unarmed. Melody, over here. Melody tried to gauge what was happening, but it all turned to chaos. 3 wolves were running in circles after Loki. Sagir kept pushing the pack leader away. Ul tried to scare the wolves away with arrows, and her indecisiveness did not go unnoticed. What should I do? I bought Sagir. Run to Ul, or bait the wolf. Hope this works. She ran to the side and angled to the wolf. The wolf sprinted after her. It was clearly faster and quickly closed the distance between them. Melody threw a glance over her shoulder. It's close. Oh no, I'm done for. The wolf pushed pushed with its mighty paws and sprang, aiming for her throat. Gotcha. She dove to the ground and flattened herself against the bark. The beast flew above her. Melody managed to see the surprise on its muzzle when its feet did not find the target it expected. It tried to grab onto the branch, but it was too late. Inertia dragged it down into the misty nothingness. Take that. They're way too strong. I think I'll burn them. He gracefully dodged another attack and started humming something. The ends of his fingers started to glow. Don't you bloody dare. This is the Yggdrasil. We can't run, they're going to catch us. He sent another arrow flying. Never did Loki the Great run away from the battle. Is that so? That was a tactical retreat. A smug smile lit up his face. That's right, after me. They grouped up and, fending off the wolves, retreated to the nearest leaf. What now? Now, Sagar will talk to this leaf into falling, and we'll have ourselves a merry ride. You're mad. It's either that or feeding Odin's guard wolves. Your choice. I'm running out of arrows. Loki grinned, all sharp teeth. Make up your mind, Sagar. Sagar sighed, swerved viciously, and hugged the stem of the gargantuan leaf. Get on. Melody hastily stepped on the leaf. It bent slightly under her weight, but otherwise stayed intact. Is this really a good idea? That's it. I'm out of arrows. Yellow veins ran up the stem of the leaf faster and faster until the entire surface of this leaf grew autumn bright. The stems cracked and broke. The leaf tilted under their combined weight. What did I do to deserve this? She swallowed a lump in her throat and grabbed... Oh. Afraid, Valkyrie? Melody nodded. A tight knot of dread unfurled in her belly. Ul hugged her shoulders tightly but carefully. You're gonna be fine. Here we go. He leaned forwards, making the leaf go faster. The wolves howled and rushed towards them. The leaf left the branch. The lead wolf snapped his teeth at the leaf but failed to catch it. The leaf jerked and it flew. A strong gust of wind spun it around and she realized she was screaming at the top of her lungs. Oh my god. Look at his face. It was the worst roller coaster ride of her life. Now where are we? Melody awoke on black sand. The air was uncomfortably dry and hot. The air carried acrid chemical smells. Her throat was sore and coarse sand seemed to have gotten everywhere. Is everyone alright? Unless Loki stops jerking around, he won't. I'm uncomfortable. Sagar swore, frustrated, and thrust a vial at Loki. Then heal yourself. Where's Ul? Sand rustled under someone's feet. There you lot are. I started to fear you fell in a volcano, Ul. No, I got lucky. It's a good thing I've been to Muspelheim before. How are you feeling, Valkyrie? Not much like a Valkyrie. She sighed and felt like her body. I'm fine, just hot. Loki illed his way from under Sugger's arm. Hey, do you want me to conjure you some clothes? Melody looked at him with doubt. What can possibly go wrong? Form-fitting outfit. A revealing outfit. That's what could possibly go wrong. Jesus! I'm not wearing anything. But dang, she's fit as hell. Or a regular outfit. No, that's ugly. Kind of thinking this one. That's crazy. I'm not wearing that. It looks kind of cool though. But seriously, who am I gonna fight in that? I'm gonna get cut up and burnt up. I wish I wear something a little bit more sensible. Be a little more sensible. Loki nodded in approval. Not bad, right? Good enough, thanks. It's not very sturdy, mind. Will it fall apart while I'm wearing it? Unless you decide to fight in it, you should be good. Yeah, another battle is exactly what I need. I don't even have a sword. And I'm out of arrows. But we're in Muspelheim. So what? The best smith I've ever known lives here. Ooh, do you mean Lyode? Ul nodded. She's not usually easy to meet. I've heard she likes gifts. Ul confidently led them along a volcanic range. Black sand turned to globs of hardened lava. They had to watch their step. The ground did not inspire confidence, and neither did the geysers of steam that exploded through it at times. The lava looked suspiciously like fresh caramel. My life is very weird right now. A path resolved among the accretions of stone leading upwards. I don't spell that right. Will this Lyode see us, I wonder? Although I could ask instead of wondering. Hey. Ul, tell me about Lyode. Ul raised an eyebrow, surprised. What's to tell? She's a great smith. Just be told I haven't ordered from her in a while. Lyode does not like to be bothered. So she won't like us? Who can tell? I always dealt with her through a middlewoman. He went silent as if trying to decide whether he wanted to add anything. My half-sister. Did something happen to her? It's a story of days long past. Ul may tell you about her someday. Okay. Besides, we're there. The winding path finally led them to a tall passage carved into the side of the volcano. A lava fall of molten stone poured down, sluggishly and inexorably on the other side of the passage. The lava poured into a lake in a hollow lower down. Muffled rhythmic blows came from the insides of the mountain. It's so hot, it's like an evil witch from a fairy tale put me in her oven. What are you waiting for, love? For hell to freeze over? God's first. Do I have to go in there? Or wish me luck? Good luck. Good luck, love. Don't step in red bubbling puddles, they're bad. I would never have guessed. Any other valuable advice? Ul smells slightly. Good luck, Valkyrie. Luck. We'll wait for you here. I have a good feeling about this. I don't. Yeah, I don't either, assholes. Melody went through the opening without issue, and a stone ceiling replaced the sky. Whoa. The hammering blows grew louder. The passage opened into a cavern filled with light, heat, and noise. A giant lake of lava bubbled, boiled, flowed, and shimmered through all the shades of red and orange. On a stone platform on the lake's edge stood a forge, an enormous anvil, and an extremely cluttered workbench. A powerfully built figure slammed the smith's hammer over and over onto a piece of metal on the anvil. Her hair glowed with the soft light of a candle. That must be Lyode. How should I address her? Hey, or Lady Smith. It's a trap. is a trap. I don't know what to say. Lady Smith? I don't know if I should just say, like, hey. I'm trying to give respect to her title, maybe. This could be wrong. She might not like this. Oh Lord. Okay, let's just be prepared to restart. Lyle turned away from the anvil, carefully put the hammer down, and looked at Melody. She smiled. That could be a good sign. Her hair is glowy. She smiled. Hello there. You're a bold one. What led you here? Leod feels flattered by your manners. Whoop! I need a sword. And arrows. And? Melody looked at her confused. And I heard that there's no better smith than Leod of Muspelheim. Leod narrowed her eyes. Who'd you hear it from? From... Literally, I heard it from Ul. Ah, Ul, is it? She folded her arms. Who would you be? I'm a human. Melody? I'm pretty sure she can tell I'm human, right? Is she asking for my... I assume she's asking for my name is Melody. It's a good name. Leod has agreed to talk to you. Whoop! Yay! She looked Melody over appraisingly. Maybe I'll make you a sword, maybe I won't. When will I learn about your decision? Leod frowned. When I tell you about it. How are you going to pay me? We'll owe you a favor. I love this face. Just like, what do you want? Name your price. Leod folded her arms. You can't afford my price. Wonderful. Oh, order? Oh no. I'm not going back just to change that. I will not ask for payment until I've made my decision. When will that happen? When you get me the spark from the lake. I can't imagine there's a lot of water around here unless she means a lake of fire. Can you explain further what the spark is? Never seen one before? Melody shook her head. Nope. It's hot. That's not very specific. Leo spread her hands. Then you won't get it. Which lake? This one. A lake of lava? Oh Lord. Correct. That's impossible. Why? You need a spark if you want a good sword. I'm not picky. I don't make bad swords. Whoa! Her hair! Go, think. Ooh, I just seen these little marks on her body. Cool. Go, think. And tell the rest to come in. I will not char them. Busted. She turned back to the anvil and the loud banging started anew. Okay, well at least I can ask them what the hell to do. Surprisingly, it was less hot outside. Melody went to the men waiting for her and sat right on a hot stone. So? She wants me dead, is weird, told me to entertain myself. Told me to entertain myself? How? Intimately. She told me to dive into a lake of lava and find some kind of spark. And she invited you in. The ensuing silence was interrupted only by the sighing of volcanic vapors. They don't seem too glad to hear it. Leod is letting us in? He cast a pensive glance in the direction of the forge. Let's accept her invitation before it expires. When they reached the forge, Leod was nowhere to be seen. Whoa, this is a really nice place. Where's the host? Stepped out? We would have run into her. Leod, come welcome your guest. Yeah, glad I didn't say his name. I don't think I should say his name to many people. I doubt that would go over well. His voice echoed through the cavern, but no answer came. Loki shrugged. Weird. Yep. So, love, you're to dive into this lake right here? Leo told me so. Do you have any ideas? Will spread his hands apologetically. I don't. I can't lead you through lava. He looked around. A bridge is out of the question too, and it would take too long. Oh. Ask for help. Okay. So considering their powers, I feel like they both maybe could do something. At least some kind of thought outside the box, but with more technical magic. Probably looking for Sagir's help. I have that face too, sweetheart. Loki, it's your fault I'm here. You tell me. Loki, I need your help. Help? With what? How do I get the spark? By diving in there. He nodded towards the lava currents. Melody tried to be patient. I'm human. I will burn lava before I get close enough. Don't worry about that, love. He put a hand on her shoulder, looked deep into her eyes, as if peering behind her pupils, down in her core, and whispered something in a weirdly modulated voice that sounded like wind rushing through tall grass. A wave of stinging cold spread from his hand. Loki squinted happily, looking at his handiwork, and smiled. There you go. What did you do? You can dive, you won't burn. Are you sure? Go ahead and try it if you don't trust me, but keep in mind that it won't be for long. You'll have to hurry. Well, he did something. The fiery lake kept flowing and bubbling. About to change. I don't feel much heat. Looks like divine divinity is working. Ha! What are you waiting for? True enough. She bravely approached the shore and stepped on its molten edge. The lava bubbled and her foot sank in it like in the swamp. Melody took another step. There was no bottom. Viscous liquid stone closed up above her head. Up and down ceased to have meaning, and it was impossible to see anything. A strong current picked her up and dragged her along. Her lungs burned, and she desperately fought to avoid inhaling. Panic swirled in her head as Melody tried to find anything that could help her to swim to the surface. I'm done for. The current spun her, and her consciousness swam with it. She lost control for a second and inhaled. Her head cleared. I can breathe? She laughed. I can breathe. Of course, it would be stupid to protect me from heat only to let me suffocate. The panic subsided and Melody managed to calm down. Now I have to find the spark. Leo said it was hot, so I have to swim. It never seems quite nice to swim against a current. I said it was a particularly strong current too. Across it? You usually swim with the current, right? I don't know. Let's try with the... She relaxed and let the current carry her. So it did, neither slowing nor speeding up. How much time has passed? This current's not leading me anywhere. It's time to change my approach. Across? Melody decided to abandon notions of up and down. She tried swimming out of the current and immediately found herself in another. She was dragged down, then pushed up, then spun in a spiral. Damn it. Really? Okay. The hot current usually moves up, right? I don't know. She did not major in physics. Alright, that is at least one decision. Swimming against the current was hard, and she was sometimes felt that she was stuck in one place. Blast it. A surprisingly bright spot caught her attention. That must be the spark. Well, that or I swam to the center of the world. Melody redoubled her efforts. Oh, there it is. A glowing sphere floated and bubbled, not connected to anything. Next to it sat Leo. She nodded to Melody and smiled. Whoa, look at her outfit. She looks cool. Well, well, there's still hope for you yet. Oh. And we're done. I think that was it. That was 3 episodes, right? I think yeah, it was. Okay. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this story? Interesting. We're kind of building a group here. What would you call it? Well, I don't know. We're building a little group here, a little following. We can slowly kind of get to know each of them in turn. I wonder if we'll collect Mir as well and keep going. We've met her, but I doubt she'll come with us if she doesn't like to talk. I'm glad I managed to figure that out the first try because that could have gone badly. The current thing was difficult. I didn't know about the heat thing going up. Look, I don't know. Once again, and I'll apologize for the last time for the pronunciation. You guys are going to bear with me or teach me how to pronounce things. Except that one of those things, Ul's name is just hard. or something like that. I don't know. But it's pretty interesting. It's like fight heavy. The action and the journey and the movement and stuff kind of brings me back to the good old Cells in the Fog days. Cells in the Fog is my favorite story, so that's already good. And it's interesting. It'll be interesting, I think, learn a bit more about Norse mythology. So I'm not that familiar with it. Yeah. Just want to figure it out. We'll see what Odin has in store for us. It's shaping up to be that I'm gonna hate him just as much as I usually do. So that'll be fun. We're doing good on our change route. So far, I like it. It makes her spunky. I like it. We're doing pretty good on Glory, it looks like. I might have missed a few pieces here and there. I'll find out. I'll check the walkthrough after to see if I want to do any tweaks or changes to these episodes before we move on. But I'm excited to see what they do with the story next. So far so good. So far so good. Pretty digging it. The music's dope. The atmosphere is dope. The back scenes and everything like that. Yeah, so it's cool. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this part right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and show the like button some love. Subscribe to see more content like this. And I will see you next time. Bye!